The fire they never saw coming, ladies and gentlemen. There comes a moment in every human life when the world looks at you and tells you who you are not. You're not good enough. You're not educated enough. You're not smart enough. You're not capable. You're dreaming too big. You're reaching too far. And often, they're not yelling those words at you, they whisper them in their silence, in their doubt-filled eyes, in their careless comments, in their absence when you needed belief the most. I remember a young man, let's call him Daniel. Daniel grew up hearing those words from every angle of life. His teachers told him he wasn't gifted. His friends told him he was wasting his time trying to succeed. Even his own family, the people meant to lift him, became the loudest voices of doubt. One day, after failing an exam, Daniel overheard two relatives saying, "Is not meant for much. He'll end up like everyone else. Average." That night, Daniel made a decision that would change his life forever. He said, "Maybe I'm not gifted, but I'm not finished, and they don't get to write my story." That's the moment everything changed. Not because the world suddenly believed in him. No, the world stayed the same. What changed was the fire inside him. The fire that said, "I will prove them wrong." Not out of anger, not out of revenge, but out of a deep, quiet knowing that he was more than what they saw. Ladies and gentlemen, today's message is not about fighting people. It's about fighting your limitation, your doubt, your fear. It's about rising above the version of you that settles and stepping into the version that conquers. And today, I, Yongi will take you on a journey. 7 powerful chapters, each one a turning point, each one a truth meant to awaken something unstoppable inside you. This is your moment to turn doubt into destiny. Let us begin. The power of silent doubt, and why you must rise above it. There is a kind of doubt that does not shout, does not argue, does not try to humiliate you publicly. No, this doubt is more subtle, more poisonous, more dangerous than any loud criticism could ever be. It is the doubt that sits quietly inside your mind, created by years of small comments, small failures, small disappointments, and small moments when the world made you feel smaller than you truly are. And if you are not careful, that silent doubt becomes the author of your life instead of you. The truth is, most people are not destroyed by the world's loud rejection. They are destroyed by the voice within that whispers, "Maybe they're right." That whisper becomes a belief, and that belief becomes a cage. Think back to your childhood. The moments when someone laughed at your dream, dismissed your imagination, or told you that you should be realistic. You didn't know it then, but every one of those moments planted a seed. And unless you pull those seeds out by the root, they grow into a mindset that sabotages everything you try to build. This is why, even as adults, so many people are terrified of trying. They don't fear failure. They fear confirmation of what others once said about them. They fear that one mistake means the doubters were right all along. But here is the truth: the world never taught you doubt is not insight. Doubt is not fact. Doubt is not prophecy. It is simply the echo of someone else's limitation. And you are not here to live inside somebody else's limitation. You are here to rise into your own possibility. You are here to become someone they never saw coming. The greatest battle you will ever fight is the battle within. The battle against your inner critic, your inherited fears, your conditioned beliefs. And the moment you decide to challenge those beliefs, the moment you decide to say, "I refuse to see myself through the eyes of those who underestimated me," something extraordinary happens inside you. You break the invisible ceiling that has held you for years. I remember speaking to a young man who told me, "Chu, I know I have potential, but every time I try something, I hear the voices of people who told me I wasn't good enough." I looked at him and said, "Your life will not change until you stop renting space in your mind to people who never paid the price to understand your destiny." And he realized something profound. The people who doubted him weren't prophets. They were simply afraid to dream themselves. Silent doubt is powerful because it feels like your own thought. But if you trace it back, you will find it came from a teacher who didn't understand you, a parent who was projecting their fear, a friend who had already given up on their own future, or a society that cannot measure your heart, your hunger, your resilience. Once you learn to identify the source, that doubt loses its authority. It becomes just another voice you no longer obey. But rising above doubt requires courage, not proof. You don't eliminate doubt by arguing with it. You eliminate it by acting in spite of it. When you take a step forward, trembling, uncertain, unsure, you send a message to yourself that your future matters more than your fear. Every small victory, every simple act of discipline, every courageous decision becomes another brick in the foundation of self-belief. Soon, the voice of doubt becomes softer. Soon, your voice becomes stronger. This is why proving them wrong begins with proving yourself right. Because the truth is, the world cannot believe in a person who does not believe in themselves. People sense your energy, your confidence, your conviction, your vision, and when you show up with a spirit that says, "I may not be there yet, but I am on my way," the world responds. Opportunities appear. People take you seriously. Support appears from places you never expected. But none of that happens until you win the internal war. So let this be the moment you reclaim your identity. Let this be the moment you say, "Their doubt is their story. My belief is my story." Let this be the moment you stop seeing yourself through the lens of past pain and start seeing yourself through the lens of possibility. You are bigger than the moments that tried to break you. You are stronger than the words that tried to limit you. You are capable of becoming someone so powerful, so disciplined, so resilient, so undeniable, that even the silent doubt inside you finally kneels before your truth. You rise when you decide you deserve to rise. And that is the first step in proving them wrong. Pain as fuel. Turn your struggles into your reason. Pain is one of the greatest teachers life will ever send your way. But most people run from it so quickly that they never stop to hear the lesson. They see pain as a punishment, as a sign of failure, as a message that they should stop trying. But the truth is far deeper, far more empowering. Pain is not there to break you. It is there to shape you. It is the sculptor of strength, the fire that forges identity, the chisel that carves greatness out of ordinary people. And if you truly want to prove them wrong, if you truly want to rise above every limitation that has ever been placed on you, you must learn to embrace your pain, understand it, and transform it into fuel. Every struggle you've faced, every heartbreak, every setback, every closed door, every betrayal has prepared you in ways that comfort never could. Comfort teaches you nothing. Comfort keeps you soft, predictable, unchanged. Pain, however, forces you to confront who you really are. It shows you your weaknesses, but it also reveals your power. It shows you the cracks, but it also shows you the strength you didn't know you had. When life hits you hard, you have two choices: collapse under the weight of it, or rise with a fire you didn't have before. There was a man I once mentored who survived some of the hardest years I've ever heard about. Raised in a small town with no opportunities, failed out of school twice, struggled with confidence his entire life. But every time something went wrong, every time someone doubted him, every time he stood on the edge of quitting, something inside him whispered, "Who's this?" And he did. When he didn't get the job he wanted, he used the pain to sharpen his skills. When people laughed at his dreams, he used the pain to work even harder. When life pushed him down, he pushed back with twice the strength. And one day he told me, "Dare Chu, if my journey had been easy, I would have stayed small." Those words are the entire truth. Pain expands you. Pain grows you. Pain awakens a version of you that ease never will. Most people misunderstand the purpose of pain. They think it's there to warn them to stop. They think it's a signal that something is not meant for them. But pain is often the opposite. It's a signal that something valuable is being built inside you. Diamonds are formed under extreme pressure. Steel becomes unbreakable only after fire, and human beings, we become unstoppable the moment we stop resisting pain and start using it as fuel. The people who doubt you, the ones who dismiss you or underestimate you, they are a part of this process too. Their disbelief becomes an unexpected gift, an unplanned blessing, not because they are right, but because their doubt awakens something fierce inside you. Their negativity becomes the push you didn't know you needed. Every time someone says, "You can't do this," it's like handing you another log for the fire burning inside your heart. And if you choose to use that fire, you will rise in ways they never imagined. Pain gives you clarity. It strips away illusions. It forces you to ask yourself, how badly do I want this? How deeply do I believe in myself? It makes you dig deeper, work harder, think smarter. Most importantly, it separates you from the people who only dream, and the people who are willing to pay the price to make that dream real. Everyone wants success until they feel the pain required to achieve it. Only a few push through, and those few, those rare, committed souls, become the ones who change their world. Think about the person you are becoming every day, that you choose not to quit. Think about the resilience you are earning. Think about the strength you're building, the character you're shaping, the power you're discovering. These things are not given, they are forged. And the fire that forges them is pain. So don't run from your struggle. Don't hide from your wounds. Don't fear your dark moments. Lean into them. Listen to them. Let them guide you. Let them sharpen you. Let them prepare you. One day, when you stand on the mountain of your success, when the world finally sees what you've become, when the doubters finally fall silent, you will look back at your journey and realize something extraordinary. The pain didn't hinder you. It propelled you. The struggle didn't limit you. It liberated you. The obstacles didn't stop you. They sculpted you into someone they can no longer recognize, someone they can no longer measure, someone they can no longer doubt. This is the power of turning pain into fuel. This is how you rise. This is how you prove them wrong. Belief, the inner engine that no one can see but everyone can feel. Belief is a quiet force. It doesn't make noise. It doesn't demand attention. It doesn't shout to the world, "Look at me, I'm strong." No, belief is far more subtle, far more personal, far more sacred. It is the invisible engine that makes the impossible possible. And yet, the reason so many people never rise, never grow, never become who they were meant to be, is because their engine never turns on. They wait for someone else to give them permission. They wait for validation, for applause, for approval. They wait for a sign that says, "You are worthy." But life doesn't work like that. Life waits for you to believe first. You cannot build a great life while doubting your ability to live it. You cannot create a powerful future while carrying the weight of past criticisms. And you cannot silence the world until you first learn to silence the doubt inside your own heart. People think belief is something you magically acquire when circumstances improve, when success begins, when others start cheering. But belief is not a reward. It is a responsibility. It is not something you earn. It is something you choose. It is not something you receive from the outside. It is something you ignite from within. I once met a young woman who told me she had a dream to start a company, but felt completely unqualified. She said, "Det Chu, I'll believe in myself when I start seeing results." I smiled and said, "My dear, a seed does not wait to become a tree before it believes it can grow. It grows because it already knows what it is capable of becoming. And that is the truth. Potential is not visible at the beginning. It is only visible to those who dare to believe before the evidence appears. Belief is the courage to say, I am more than my circumstances. I am more than my failures. I am more than what they think of me. It is the courage to take the first step, even when your legs are shaking. It is the courage to trust the vision inside you even when the world sees nothing but uncertainty. You do not need everyone to believe in you. You don't even need many people. You need one person. You. Just you. And here's the beautiful paradox. When you finally believe in yourself, when you walk with conviction, when you speak with clarity, when you move with purpose, the world begins to believe in you too. Not because they suddenly gained insight, but because belief is contagious. People feel it. They sense it. They trust people who trust themselves. They follow people who know where they are going. They support people who stand tall, even when the wind tries to push them down. Think of every great person you admire. Before anyone else believed in them, they believed in themselves. Before anyone saw their greatness, they saw it. Before success arrived, they prepared for it. And that is why success came. Belief is not magic, but it produces magical results. It sharpens your mind. It strengthens your decisions. It increases your resilience. It makes you persistent. It makes you focused. It attracts the right people and repels the wrong ones. It shapes your environment because it first shapes you. But belief is not something you declare once. It is something you reaffirm daily. You build belief the same way you build muscle, through repetition, through discipline, through showing up even when you don't feel motivated. You build it every time you finish something you promised yourself. You build it every time you overcome a fear. You build it every time you rise after falling. Slowly, quietly, without applause, your belief grows. And once belief grows, everything else becomes possible. The world is full of talented people who failed simply because they never believed they could win. And it is full of ordinary people who succeeded simply because they did. Belief is the great separator, not talent, not luck, not background. Belief. Because the person who believes will keep going long after others quit. They will try again after others surrender. They will see opportunity where others see obstacles. They will rise where others remain stuck. You may not feel strong right now. You may not feel ready. You may not feel confident. But belief is not about feeling. It is about deciding. It is a decision to trust yourself even when the road ahead is dark. It is the decision to walk forward even when you cannot see the entire path. It is the decision to say, I will become who I was meant to be, and then live in alignment with that decision. This is the inner engine that no one can see but everyone can feel. This is the power that transforms doubt into destiny. This is the moment you stop waiting for permission and start living with purpose. When you believe, truly believe, deeply believe, the world cannot stop you. This is how you rise. This is how you grow. This is how you prove them wrong. Discipline, the quiet, daily proof that you deserve the life you seek. Discipline is not loud. It does not celebrate you. It does not comfort you. It does not flatter you with easy rewards. Discipline is the quiet companion of every great person who has ever walked this earth. It is the unseen force working behind closed doors, in early mornings, in late nights, in the moments when no one is watching and no one is applauding. It is the force that separates people who wish from people who achieve. It is the bridge between who you are and who you want to be. And if you truly want to prove them wrong, you must understand that discipline is the purest form of self-respect. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they avoid the daily steps required to turn talent into mastery. They avoid the discomfort of routine, the repetition of practice, the consistency of effort. They want the mountain's view, but not the climb. They want the applause, but not the work. But life is not fooled. Life never gives long-term rewards to those who operate from short-term motivation. Life pays those who show up, not mysteriously, but consistently. I once met a young athlete who told me, "Dear Chu, I want to be great, but I only feel motivated some days." I said, "Greatness doesn't live in the days you feel motivated. It lives in the days you don't." And he understood. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is spiritual. Motivation fades. Discipline remains. Motivation is about how you feel. Discipline is about who you are becoming. The truth is, discipline is the evidence you give yourself that you are worthy of success. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, waking up early, exercising, studying, working on your craft, you strengthen your identity. You tell yourself, I am a person who follows through. I am a person who does what needs to be done. And that identity becomes a shield. It protects you against doubt, against fear, against discouragement. Because when you are disciplined, you stop negotiating with weakness. You stop arguing with failure. You stop delaying your destiny. But discipline is not a dramatic decision. It is not a once-in-a-lifetime choice. It is 1,000 small choices to get up when you want to stay in bed, to work when you want to rest, to continue when you want to quit. These choices may seem small, but they are the threads that weave the fabric of your future. Your destiny does not change in a single moment. It changes in the habits you repeat every day. People often say, I'll start when I'm ready. But readiness is a myth. No one ever feels ready for the life they truly want. Readiness comes after you begin. It comes from action, not from thinking. It comes from showing up again and again, until the thing that once felt impossible becomes natural. When you push yourself through discomfort long enough, discomfort becomes your teacher, not your enemy. Discipline is also freedom. It frees you from regret. It frees you from guilt. It frees you from the pain of knowing you could have done more, but didn't. It frees you from the heaviness of potential wasted. And most importantly, it frees you from the opinions of others. Because when you are disciplined, truly disciplined, you no longer need validation. Your work becomes your voice. Your consistency becomes your confidence. Your results become your response. And here is the part most people overlook. Discipline has a compounding effect. The more disciplined you become, the easier it becomes to stay disciplined. The more consistent you are, the more proud you feel. The more proud you feel, the more you want to push further. Slowly, you transform from someone who struggles to start into someone who refuses to stop. Your doubt weakens. Your fear shrinks. Your old story dissolves. And you begin to realize that you are capable of far more than you ever believed. But the ultimate gift of discipline is this: it makes you undeniable. It makes you someone they cannot count out. It makes you someone whose progress cannot be ignored. It makes you someone who rises not because of luck, not because of talent, not because of opportunity, but because of consistency, courage, and commitment. Your discipline becomes your voice. It speaks louder than their doubt. It speaks louder than their criticism. It speaks louder than your past. So let this chapter of your journey be the moment you decide to become disciplined. Not because it is easy, not because it is comfortable, but because your future deserves it, because your dream deserves it, because you deserve it. Discipline is how you prove them wrong, not through talk, not through anger, not through revenge, but through the quiet, relentless, unshakable work that turns your life into evidence. This is how you rise. This is how you build. This is how you prove them wrong.